Hey everyone, it's Nicole, and we are covering the business of being Keanu today. I'm really excited to cover this topic and talk to you a little bit about why I chose this topic. First of all, I know I'm a couple minutes late. I'm not gonna lie, it's because I was pulling more pictures for the slides. Still didn't pull as many as I wanted, but I got a couple of good ones in there. So I don't know about you, but I am totally a Hollywood, celebrity movie, like junkie. Like I love TV, I love movies, I love reading about the behind the scenes of movies and TV shows and actors and actresses' lives. Like not just like the gossipy stuff, like I just love to learn about how they got there, like other things that they've done. Like if I'm watching something, I can seriously fall into a black hole of, Wikipedia and Google and really kind of just researching everything. Now, here's the deal, you guys, and let me just pull us up to make sure I can see your comments. Keanu is really popular right now. He's like peak popularity. The internet is obsessed with him, in case you did not notice. And there is basically, he's everywhere, right? Like he's at peak popularity. He's in all kinds of movies. People want him in everything. Marvel's talking to him right now. He just signed on for another Matrix. He's had the 3 John Wick's movies. He was in Toy Story 4. He was in Always Be My Maybe, a Netflix comedy playing a version of himself. So he is absolutely willing to, he's everywhere, right? Like he's willing to play a range of characters, and he's had long-term success. So just a quick fun fact with you. I actually think the first movie or 2 that I've seen with Keanu Reeves was Babes in Toyland, which was seriously my favorite Christmas movie when I was a kid. It was like made in the 80s with Drew Barrymore, and it was very ridiculous. And I would say that probably the second movie I saw with Keanu Reeves was Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, right? So as you can see, even just talking about those movies, it's a totally different variety of what he's doing now, right? And I just think it's really funny. If you're on, or if you're watching the replay, let us know, what is your favorite movie with Keanu? What do you love him in? Drop it in the comments below. Or what is the most recent movie you've seen with Keanu? Don't forget to get notified about all these workshops, get access to the replays, sign up at NicoleLiloia.com/workshop. So here's the deal. Once again, if you've noticed Keanu Reeves is everywhere, the internet is obsessed with him, and you'd even love to have a fraction of that attention on your own business, right? Like you want people who want your stuff, who want, like everybody wants to see his movies. Everybody wants to see what he's going to do next, right? If you even would love a fraction of that on your own business, then you are absolutely in the right place today, okay? So I am glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Once again, he's everywhere, and I want your business to be here too. So we're going to talk about what Keanu, and let's be real, his team, right? Because he's not doing this on his own. He has an agent, and maybe he has a manager. I don't know who else he has, but he probably has PR people. His agent has a team. They are, they help him craft his image. And it's naive of us to think that there is not a piece of that going on behind the scenes. And I say that because when people are that good, right? And listen, I am sure that, I'm not sure, but I want to believe that this is Keanu, right? Like who he shows up as, his sensitive self, talking about how to deal with grief on Stephen Colbert, giving up his seat on the subway in New York City. I want to believe that that is the real Keanu, right? Like we all do. And my guess is that there is certainly an aspect that is his personality. And I, once again, I want to believe that, right? So I hope you want to believe that too. And I'm sure you want to believe that too, right? But the reality is that, you know, his team is protecting him. He's not someone who's super all over the place. He's not, you know, Brad Pitt, right? He's not Ben Affleck. He hasn't had his private life plastered everywhere. You know, I think once again, he hasn't over the years always been like the target of he has not once again always been the target of paparazzi, right? Like they're not chasing him down. They're not putting all the behind the scenes. So they definitely, he has a lot of support. He has a lot of protection. And he's obviously been savvy about how to keep his private life private, right? Which kind of honestly, let's be real, makes us want to know more about him. I don't know about you, but you know, recently there was this whole news thing in the news about how he had like a flight diverted, and he ended up like helping everybody get on a bus to the next location to relocate. And then he was on the bus like reading, like somebody filmed him reading random facts about like where they were headed. Like he's very personable, he's very approachable, even though he's very private, and he's very, very like down to earth. So once again, like this is really just things to think about, and think about, you know, you don't have to be a Brad Pitt, right? You don't have to be you know, someone like that. You don't have to be a Ben Affleck. You don't have to have your private business everywhere. You can still be really popular, and a little mystery is good, right? And he's been in Hollywood about 35-ish years. On Wikipedia, it said his start was like 1984. He's 54 years old. I put this picture up of him being super young just to kind of show you guys, like, this is about longevity, right? This isn't about being a one-hit wonder. And this is what we're going to cover: how to create consistency so that your business has long-term success and is not a one-hit wonder, how to experiment with new projects and opportunities, the hero archetype and how it applies to your ability to create an audience, and how to fascinate your audience and why this is important, right? So first of all, let's talk about creating consistency for long-term success, right? Keanu has stuck with his acting, right? He's stuck with business. He's stuck with getting more movies. There is, you know, it's been a roller coaster for him. He's been in popular things, and he's definitely been in things that have flopped or that have not been popular. Point being, like just last year, in the midst of his huge John Wick popularity, and now he's signing on for Marvel, and he's filming an updated Bill and Ted's Adventure like 30 years later, 20 years later. He is 30 years, I think, actually. He has absolutely also had movies that have been small, that nobody knows about, that have flopped. What point in being, Destination Wedding. He did that movie. It was probably more of a nostalgia type movie that he chose to do for his fans. It was a flop, right? It wasn't really in any theaters. It kind of went straight to, I think, Amazon Prime or something like that. Not gonna lie, I watched it and I enjoyed it, right? But his current audience now, you know, the people who are watching John Wick and stuff like that probably aren't the same people who are watching that movie, right? But here's the deal, like he's stuck with it, and he, you know, rides the roller coaster. He sticks to projects he believes in, and even if they're not popular, like he has enjoyment around it. And then he goes on to the next project. He has multiple projects coming out, which means like you're not having any time to forget about him right now, right? He's everywhere. Then once again, when something works, he's doing it again and again and again. Now, I don't know that Bill and Ted worked, but I mean, let's be real. It's like kind of got cultish popularity from the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And now he's doing a new one. He does things that work, and he does things for his fans, right? Like he covers all the bases, right? So like The Matrix, that is something that worked, that was huge. He did the sequel, he just signed on for a new one. He did 3 John Wicks, right? When something is working and he's enjoying it, he'll do it again and again. And he will also say no if it's not the right fit. Speed 2, he stepped out of that one, right? He doesn't just sign on to projects because he loves them, you know, or because he thinks it'll be a quick hit, right? He is selective, right? So what is working in your business? What can you do again and again so that you don't have to keep recreating new things, right? So that you can satisfy the people who love your stuff and keep nurturing that audience, right? The John Wick audience, right? Like now he did 3 of them. That's that audience. He keeps giving more content, more movies, more entertainment to that audience. And I'm sorry, you guys, my lighting is horrible today. The other thing is that has helped him be a long-term success. Now, this is something that for business owners, I want to put this disclaimer on it. This isn't something you can do in the beginning, right? You can't be, you can't be everything to everyone, right? You need to kind of narrow in on your audience and show up for them, right? And show up for your ideal clients and your target market and create things for them. And here's the deal, you guys. There is a version for Keanu for all of us, right? There is a version for Keanu that appeals to all of us. For example, my ideal Keanu is speed Keanu. I like the clean cut hero, right? A lot of people love the Matrix Keanu. A lot of people love the new Always Be My Maybe Keanu, where he made fun of himself. A lot of people love the John Wick Keanu. Some people back in the day, his early career, loved the My Private Idaho Keanu, right? There's a version for Keanu for all of us. We don't have to love all the versions. I tried John Wick, haven't been able to get into it. I'm gonna try again, but it also allows us to experiment with different things, right? Like I'm experimenting with a movie that I might not watch, but I really love Keanu, so I want to try it out. There is that version of Keanu for all of us. So he's been able to achieve broader mass appeal, which is why he has the peak popularity now. Now, here's the deal. You can't do that too early on in your business as a business owner. You have to wait for that, right? Like you have to wait for that. You can do that later on. Look at what, like early on, he wasn't like appealing to millions of audiences, right? Now he's able to kind of tackle all of them. What I was going to say though, is like, look at Marie Forleo. Like in the beginning, she was appealing to a narrow audience, women who wanted online businesses, right? Now, of course, that audience has grown. She helps all kinds of business owners. She can be general, but in the beginning, she was very much so more narrow and specific. So once again, create consistency for long-term success. Plan out, take care of your audience now, but plan out how you can take care of more of your audience in the future. Okay, so once again, like I said, there's a version of Keanu for all of us, right? Look at how Sandra Bullock looks at Keanu. This is my favorite version of Keanu, but we all can kind of look at Keanu in that way, for whichever role he's in that appeals to us the most. Okay, now let's talk about this, right? Experiment with new projects and opportunities. If you find something that interests you, you can't have to give it 100%. For example, talking about the movie, My Private Idaho, this was one of Keanu Reeves' earlier movies that he fully committed to. It wasn't, this wasn't like a huge blockbuster movie or what didn't have that potential. The script, I don't think was even 100% done when he committed to it, right? But it was interesting to him and he gave it 100%. And when he went through it, he knew that there was a role that was perfect for his best friend, who at the time was River Phoenix, right? So he actually took it on a motorcycle to present it to him in person. So if you find something that interests you, give it 100%. Don't go half in. Don't tiptoe around it. And what I want to know is, are you giving 100% to the things that you really say are important right now? And I see people do that, right? I see people want to experiment with things, want to do things, but don't want to give 100% because they're afraid it could fail, right? I don't know if that movie, if it got it obviously probably didn't get the financial results that would indicate on the outside it was a success, but for Keanu, I'm sure it was a success because it's a project that he was passionate about, that he signed on early in, right? So can you be passionate about about the projects that you want to focus on, even if they're not going to always help you hit your goals. How can you enjoy it? How can you have fun with it, right? I think that's another thing. Be willing to have fun with your audience and yourself, right? Keanu has fun with himself. He makes fun of himself. You know, there was a movie called Keanu about a lost kitten. He was the voice of the kitten, right? Like with two people, like whatever, going after their lost kitten, Jordan Peele and I can't remember the other guy's name, Keegan, right? It was random. It was not necessarily like, it wasn't necessarily helping his projects, but it allows us to see a different side of him. I think the side we see a lot is, you know, is one that is more serious, one that is a bit removed. This allows us to connect with him in a different way, with him still kind of protecting who he is and his privacy, right? Let's talk about Always Be My Baby. You can watch it now on Netflix. I really recommend you watch it. Support, you know, support Ali Wong, support women writer, directors, comedians. He played a version of himself that was hilarious. He made fun of himself. He made fun of his fame. So when they approached him for this role, they were shocked. He was okay. Like, he agreed to it. And not only did he agree to it, he did that thing where he gives 100% again. He created lines for himself. He created certain aspects of the storyline for himself, right? So he didn't just kind of make this like 2-minute, you know, thing where he's like waving and he's playing a version of himself, right? Like, he really like went all in and had fun with it, and also use it as an attempt to appeal to his market through Netflix, a different medium, not the big screen, right? When you have stability, you can allow yourself to get in front of new audiences and develop that broader appeal, which is what I was talking about on the last video, right? Like on the last slide. This is Matrix. This is Matrix, Keanu. So you see that broad range, right? I don't even know, like, I don't even think the Matrix was supposed to be a big thing. I think it was kind of experimental back then. Now, I want to talk about the hero archetype, right? The hero archetype, a lot of times we try to turn ourselves into the hero to save our clients, to save our customers, right? But the truth is, the hero archetype isn't about us. It's about our audience, right? Our audience is the hero. They should be the hero that we're taking through the storyline. What is their struggles? What is the thing that helps them overcome it, right? Keanu shows up as the hero archetype, right? Both in the roles he plays, like he plays the hero archetype, that storyline that we're so drawn to, you know, obviously John Wick, loss of his wife and dog, you know, obviously like Speed, you know, loss of his like best friend, right? He plays that role so well on screen, but let's be real, he also has the hero archetype off screen. He's had a lot of loss, right? He's had a lot of tragedies. I mentioned River Phoenix, his best friend. You know, River Phoenix was, you know, overdosed young. He lost his best friend. Later on, he fell in love, and, you know, his partner, Jennifer, got pregnant, but the baby was stillborn. They ended up breaking up, and then his partner ended up dying. So there's been a lot of loss. Like, you want to see him happy. You want to see him overcome these tragedies, right? And he's very open. You know, he is open about talking about the grief and things like that. There was recently a clip on Stephen Colbert, go Google it, where he talked about grief, and he talked about like what happens after, you know, when you lose someone. That really was just straight to the point, right? It was something that everybody could connect with. So think about your audience. Okay, you guys, what motivates them? What problem do they need to overcome to become the hero, to be the hero, right? You know, for my clients, obviously for business owners like you, it is, you know, the hero, you are the heroes of the story. I'm not the hero, you're the hero, right? Like, you're overcoming the struggles of running a business. You're, you know, overcoming it not being as big as you want. You're overcoming your fear of visibility and getting seen, and building a community that loves you, and being able to sell more products and services, and, you know, have that audience that always wants to buy things from you. You know, once again, like, this is Keanu in John Wick, where, you know, he's mourning the loss of his wife, right? Like, you know, this is you know, a common struggle, a common, unfortunately, we all deal with grief. We all deal with loss. There's no way to avoid it. So we can all connect to that. Now, here's the deal, right? I don't know this for sure, but he knows how to fascinate his audience. And I'm not just talking about on screen, I'm talking about his fans and community off screen. We are fascinated with him. We are searching for more info. People are, right? The internet is obsessed with Keanu in 2019. You Google Keanu Reeves obsession, a whole list of articles about it comes up, right? Now, here's the deal. I'm not sure if you've ever taken the Fascination Advantage test. This was popular a few years ago. And what I liked about the How to Fascinate, the Fascination Advantage test, this is by Sally Hogshead of howtofascinate.com. What I love about it is it talks about, you know, your primary advantage and your secondary advantage for how you fascinate people. Why are people attracted to you? This is something that we're usually not aware of. I would say that Keanu's key to fascination is mystique. Actually, the reason I feel that I'm able to assess this is because that is I believe it's my secondary fascination advantage. So here's the definition of that, right? Mystique personalities fascinate others with their unusual ability to filter what they communicate. They thoughtfully edit their ideas and opinions, selectively choosing what to reveal and share. Because they don't over communicate, they avoid sending distracting details and making each detail more influential, right? That is for sure what is going on with Keanu. He is mysterious, right? He is mystique. He's not being mysterious on purpose. It's his personality. He's not going to be out there talking about his latest girlfriend, right? He's not going to be out there flashing her all over. He likes privacy. And as a result, we are more fascinated by people like that because of when they put stuff out there, it's important, right? Like I said, this is my fascination advantage as well. So not that I'm saying I'm Keanu Reeves or super mysterious or anything like that, but I can tell you that I carefully craft what I'm putting out there. I'm not just gonna be like an overabundance. This helps us this helps our authenticity stand out, right? And it also allows us to be more direct. Once again, you know, Keanu's really careful about what he's sharing, what he's putting out there on interviews, on late night shows. All those questions are crafted before. He knows what's going on. Him and his team approve them, right? I don't have a team to approve what I'm saying, but you know, I'm always thinking about what I'm going to say and what I'm putting out there, right? It's just a natural tendency for me. Once again, this is something that happens naturally for you. I don't plan it that way. But as a result, people tend to feel that I'm more direct. They tend to feel that I'm more authentic. My clients like it because I don't give them like a lot of bullshit. Like I get straight to the point. So, you know, once again, tell me, have you noticed how you fascinate your audience? Know how you fascinate your audience and own it. Like I used to feel bad that I was on the more quiet side. I used to feel bad that I was on the more private side. But, you know, now I know that this is a strength. Once again, this is a perfect example, right? Keanu Reeves had no idea about the internet's obsession with him. What did he say? That's wacky. That goes along with the mystique. He's not even aware. He's not, you know, he's not out there like aiming for this, right? He's not tracking his popularity. That makes him more exciting. That makes him more appealing, right? So that is really important that you know. This is a scene from Always Be My Maybe, right? Where I feel like, you know, he walks into the room and everybody's like, oh my God. And yes, this is, you know, made up, but it's also like reality. We are like, oh my God, Keanu Reeves, right? What, you know, like, whoa, he is so appealing. So I really do want you to think about, you know, how can you, what are these things can you do, right? Like, how can you utilize these strategies we talked about today? And I almost like hate to be saying the word strategy, but you know, let's be real. He has a team. He's an actor. He's in Hollywood. There's a strategy, right? You know, he wants roles, like whatever fills him up. Maybe it's not the money. Maybe it's the roles. Maybe it's whatever, his lifestyle, his motorcycle, whatever. Like he makes sure he has that through a strategy of getting out there, right? So once again, you know, create consistency so that your business has long-term success and is not a one-hit wonder. experiment with new projects and opportunities, but make sure that right now they are appealing to your ideal audience. As you grow, you can appeal to a broader variety of people. Think about the hero archetype. Why do your clients need to be heroes? How is this affecting them? What struggle do they need to overcome? What will happen for them when they overcome that struggle? This is not about you. If you are using you as a sample to your clients or case study, it needs to be about connected to you about the struggle that you help them overcome and why they're coming to you. And learn how you fascinate your audience. Go to howtofascinate.com. You can probably still take the test there, but really think about, why are people attracted to you? Why are they working with you? Why are they hiring you? Why are they buying stuff from you, right? Like, don't be afraid to to survey your audience. Now, if you guys are struggling, if you are struggling to get that Keanu factor into your business, if you want some of your audience obsessed with you, book a free consult at NicoleLiloia.com/consults. We will go through that. We will look at how you can apply some of these principles to your business, and we will make it happen. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I will talk to you soon.